Alright guys, I'm here tonight to talk about corporate greed and income equality, since they kind of go hand in hand. Corporate greed and income equality is a pervasive problem affecting all of us, whether we realize it or not. The ever-growing income equality in America is the greatest challenge I think our country faces. And without some type of solution, there's no doubt that the American dream will be lost. Wars may ignite, corruption will definitely become more rampant, and ultimately break down our great country. We as a society, and more importantly as a generation, must realize that as great as capitalism and profit is, we have a social and moral responsibility to provide our fellow man a fair shot at security, happiness, and a life worth living. As the old saying goes, money cannot buy happiness. However, we all know that at some point in our lives we've probably been at a point where we couldn't afford the basic necessities in life: food, shelter, and clothing. In this modern day, though, we know that there's much more than that to it. Basic health care, education, and transportation, just to name a few, that can really bury people under debt. As adults, we have to look at our future generations and our kids and their kids and wonder what we can do to keep them from being worse off than we are. I believe it's going to take a monumental shift in our attitude and outlook as how we price goods and services, compensation in all industries, and how to maintain a fine line between socialism and not encouraging it or moving towards it. Obama, our president, just had a speech that he gave at the Center for American Progress. It was outlined in USA Today, and a quote from him directly was, "I believe this is a defining challenge of our time, and everything I do while in office is to lessen the income inequality that threatens the American dream." He also said during that speech that since 1979, the year he graduated high school, the size of the American economy has doubled. But just top 10% of people hold all that extra income that has come in through there. The average CEO is now paid 270 times more than they were in 1980. Millions of families who once enjoyed that upward dream of mobility and the American dream, financial security, are rapidly sliding down the ladder. They're not able to save in advance due to the small amount of money they are paid and the numerous debts that they owe once they are paid. We aren't able to live and enjoy our life of economic stability, at least until we free our future of debt. And because of the plethora of government corruption, inflation, big corporate bailouts, and reckless spending of our taxpayer dollars, we have no way to pull ourselves out of this slide that we're in. So to continue our advancement in society and the economy, we will have to find a solution and move fast. Interesting quote I found. It's on CEOs and Corporate Greed by William McDonough. It says, you can employ men and hire hands to work for you, but you will have to win their hearts to have them work for you. As corporations continue to push for these higher profit margins, the consumer suffers, and the common worker feels the blowback more than any CEO does. Whether it be the amount of pay we see each week, the feedback from customers about the declining product qualities, or the constant reminder from the media about the high life that most of us will never have or need. The bottom line approach that most companies operate in is driven the product quality down to make way for higher margins. It's reduced jobs, and the people that are left with those jobs can see each day in their customer service that they can't even maintain a level of effectiveness with most companies. To pay the enormous salaries and bonuses that management and high-level employees get, they basically take away from their lifeblood, the common man like me and you, just so we leave us just enough to get by. No longer raises, bonuses, and compensation in line with company profits, inflation, or the living standard. The average CEO, according to the AFL-CIO, which is the American Federation for Labor and Congress of Industrial Organizations, states that the S&P 500 CEOs average around $10 million per year. That customer satisfaction index has shown us that we have the biggest decline in the last 2 years in customer satisfaction, and that's of all companies out there. Anybody that's called Time Warner, Sprint, AT&T, I'm sure you feel our pain. Due to this poor economy and the layoffs, these companies and employees will have fewer resources to take care of their jobs, and it forces everybody into a tougher position. There are a few corporations that do see the benefit of a happy, motivated, and well-compensated workforce. The hotel chain, the resort chain, Ritz-Carlton, thrives to this day. They've been around for almost 100 years now, and they focus on educating their staff and keeping them motivated. One of their big things is they have a part of their website is dedicated to what they call wow stories. I really had a tough time picking which one to use, but this is a very simple one. As a guest pulled up into the doorway of the Ritz-Carlton in Boston Common, he'd been out fishing all day and caught a 200-pound yellowfin tuna. He merely asked the doorman if he could get some extra ice. Quickly, the doorman offered to help and do much more. The assistant front desk clerk took the cooler to the kitchen, where the cook supervisor cleaned the fish, cut it up, cleaned the cooler, and put all the meat nicely wrapped back in this cooler so he could take it home and cook it at his desire. Now, the guest was so wowed by the experience of just a simple request of them going so far and delivering just what he wanted as ice that he offered to pay them, and they would not take it, so he of course gave them tips. Now, this just is one of many, many stories. I encourage you to check it out, and anytime that you can stay at the Ritz-Carlton, you should be wowed by the experience. Another company is a Great Lakes Brewing Company. They make beer, and I do have found to enjoy it. And after I started drinking the beer, I started reading the labels. There was an article that just came out about a week ago, and that article was in Forbes, and it was called "Beer Entrepreneurs Fuel Comeback of Struggling Cleveland Neighborhood." Basically, the brewing company started back around 25 years ago, and they transformed a little struggling part of Cleveland called Ohio City to now where it's actually a bustling, reinvigorated neighborhood community that has real estate projects going on left and right, bars, restaurants, and businesses moving in. And the article centers around, without that brewery, it would have never happened. So their mission statement is something I want to share with you, and you can all use it to learn from it as a roadmap for any company that we know to look at and think about the way they do business. We engage in economic, social, and environmental practices that achieve a sustainable yet profitable business. The triple bottom line philosophy is present in almost every aspect of our business, from our monetary donations to community organizations, to green building units and energy efficiency, to utilizing house-made biofuels. We are deeply invested in the sustainability of our business, our community, and our planet. I don't have time to go over all the companies that do things like this, but we all need to take a better look at where we spend our money and how we partake in certain businesses. Companies like this are going to push us towards a future that's going to be brighter for us and our families, and I think we really need to look at that. So in conclusion, just to give you a small taste of what things could become, a recent article came out with the NPR is the wealth disparity in Russia. Since the fall of the Soviet Union, they have had a major growth in billionaires and fortunes of small business owners and common people that they did not have before. Now, while the country may be growing, a report by Credit Suisse Bank says that their income equality is the highest in the world outside of a few Caribbean islands. 35% of the household wealth is in the hands of 110 people. It's just amazing to me. And if we ever got to that place in America, I feel like we would be at war. So, scholars in history have shown that societies that let wealth concentrate at the top pay an incredibly high price. So societies that stand idly by and watch the middle class break apart will sink and have no future, in my opinion. We must understand at a gut level which societies work best when people live their lives at a level of abundance that's not outrageously higher than their neighbors do. We must be more careful with our government leaders at all levels, who we vote for, who we put in positions of power, and we must be more carefully who we support, not only the workforce, but where we spend our money. We must take a stand against income inequality and corporate greed to make this country, this world, and everyone's future a better place.